Hi, I'm Forrest and welcome back to the storyboard. Today we're going to talk about the Citadel Council, the largest government in the Milky Way galaxy, and discuss how it was formed and touch on its member races as well. Let's get started. So, last time when we talked about humanity's rise on the galactic stage, I mentioned a political faction called the Citadel Council. They saved our asses when they stepped in and stopped the first contact war between us humans and the Turians from getting way out of control. Now, you're pretty smart. You could probably tell just by their ability to stop two entire species from going to war that they're a pretty powerful organization. I mean, they are a government. They pass and enforce laws, command a very large and powerful fleet of warships, and have a very well-connected network of spies and assassins all at their fingertips. They're everything you'd pretty much expect. The Council is made up of three member races: the Asari, Solarians, and Turians. And most other interstellar species, us humans included, have an embassy with the Council on the Citadel. Speaking of, before we go any further, I should probably tell you more about that place. The Citadel Council gets its name from its headquarters, an ancient, massive alien structure simply called the Citadel. This massive space station has become the hub of most of the galaxy's peoples, politics, and economics. It's basically space New York City. The Citadel is made up of two main sections. The ring at its center is known as the Presidium, and it houses some of the galaxy's most influential and wealthiest people. The five arms that extend out from the Presidium are known as the Wards, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce their names. All you need to know about them is that everyone else who lives on the Citadel, well off or not, lives on these things. Because it's so similar to the mass relays, it's thought that the Citadel was built by the Protheans, the same people who built that observation post out on Mars. Just in case you don't remember, the Protheans disappeared 50,000 years ago, so the Citadel would have to be at least that old, but we're not sure how old exactly it is. In fact, despite having occupied it for thousands and thousands of years, the peoples of the galaxy don't really know anything about the Citadel. We don't know what it's made of, where its core is, where any of the main control units are. The only thing we do know is that it's located at the very center of the vast network of mass relays throughout the galaxy. For lack of a better term, it might as well be the center of the universe. Another mystery of the Citadel involves these little bug dudes called the Keepers. Everything about the Citadel's upkeep is managed by these guys, and we know just about as much about them as we do about the Citadel. Spoilers! That means we know nothing! They're mute, they're completely docile, and every time we try to capture one for academic purposes, they sort of self-destruct, melting from the inside out. Because of that, it's illegal to interfere with them or their work at all, which it makes sense. While the galaxy at large believes that— Whoa, slow down. Alright, at this point we're heading into some spoiler territory. The way I'm going to handle this on this show is, I'm going to have a little icon in the corner here all throughout material with potential spoilers. I'll notify you every time a spoiler pops up, and I'll also give you an annotation that jumps you to a point after the spoilers. All that said, click the annotation if you want to skip some huge Mass Effect 1 spoilers. Go on. Give it a click. I dare you. Still with me? Alright. While the galaxy at large believes that the mass relays in the Citadel were built by the Protheans, they actually weren't. An ancient race of Lovecraft robot squid monsters called the Reapers actually designed and built them. The Citadel, while doubling as a space station, is actually a giant mass relay designed to open a portal into dark space where the Reapers are hiding. They then proceed to invade the galaxy and exterminate all sapient interstellar species every 50,000 years. Usually, the Citadel is also the center of a galactic civilization's politics, so the Reapers can destroy any government structure when they return. Likewise, the mass relays were designed to guide spacefaring species to planets and systems that the Reapers could easily destroy. It also nullified any reason to develop new ways of intergalactic travel, because if you found this perfectly working tech just laying around, why would you? It's genius, really. The Asari were the first species to discover the Citadel, around 580 BC in human time. Shortly afterwards, the Solarians also discovered the Citadel, and the Asari suggested that the two races form a sort of partnership to maintain peace and balance between their two peoples. So, around 500 BC Earth time, the Citadel Council was officially formed. The first species to make contact with and gain an embassy with the Council were the Volus, who quickly became key players in galactic economics. Over the next 500 years, they were followed by the Batarians, Hanar, Elcor, and Quarians, all of which had peaceful first contact. However, that couldn't last forever. Around 1 AD, after activating a dormant mass relay, the species of the Citadel and its council came into contact with an insectoid species called the Rachni. The Rachni responded with extreme hostility, resulting in a long and devastating war that I will describe in more detail in the future. The long and short of it is that the hive-minded Rachni were much more organized than the Citadel's forces. They were able to tear them apart in battle after battle after battle. Around 80 AD, the Council was becoming very desperate, and they took a risk by sending the Solarians to make first contact with a warmongering species called the Krogans. And the Solarians were able to convince the Krogans to fight for the Council. With these virtual super soldiers now at their back, the Council and their forces were able to beat back the Rachni, and they nearly exterminated the entire species. However, the solution to one problem quickly led to another, when the Krogans, unsatisfied with their reward for the Rachni Wars, rose up against the Council almost 400 years later. This conflict, known as the Krogan Rebellions, lasted for nearly 100 years before the Council made first contact with yet another species, this one calling themselves the Turians. The Turians saw how dangerous the Krogans were, and they came to an agreement to lend their troops and strategic expertise to the Council. When they discovered that the Solarians were developing a virus that would greatly inhibit Krogan birth rates, the Turians took initiative and infected every single Krogan with this so-called genophage. Now unable to quickly replenish their numbers, the Krogans surrendered, and the Turians were offered a seat on the Council for their help during the rebellions. Since then, the galaxy has been at relative peace, and the member races of the Citadel Council have been able to find what niche are best filled by their abilities. The Asari became skilled diplomats, negotiators, and intermediaries. The Solarians focused on research and development, as well as gathering information and strategic intelligence. Finally, the Turians became peacekeepers, becoming the bulk of law enforcement and the military. And that gets us back up to the beginning of Mass Effect 1. Really, there isn't much else I can talk about with the Council. I mean, I guess I could talk about the bureaucratic makeup of the Citadel's government, or the intergalactic time system they set up, but that's all fucking boring. So, I guess that's it for now. Next time we'll have a mini-sode talking about CSEC, or Citadel Security, and after that we'll be having an episode dedicated to each of the member races of the Council. Until then, I'll see you next time. Got an itchy nose. Itchy nose.